Here's an Airbnb for you if you want to go to L.A. for a vacation or if you're going on a business trip. It's a themed Airbnb.
I'll be there for you. I can't sing it, but that's
Okay.
the Friends theme song.
I'm glad you clarified. I didn't know where that was going.
I know. Well, so Friends was set in New York, but this is, like you said, in L.A. The entire Airbnb has different parts of the Friends show, like the coffee house couch. They have the umbrellas that they all dance to. They've got the Central Perk, Joey's football. There's even an apartment bed. I mean, there's all kinds of things.
This makes sense for me in New York, but why L.A.?
Well, I guess somebody is just a huge, huge fan of Friends. There's even like a recreation of the front door that has the yellow frame around the peephole and Monica's bedroom and the foosball table that was in Chandler and Joey's. Yeah, so I think it's very cool if you're a big Friends
Full House
fan.
makes sense in California.
Okay.
But not Friends in L.A.
Maybe you go to L.A. and you feel like you're in New York, so you've knocked out two
Then
birds
just go to
with
New
one
York.
stone. I would do it. I mean, I think it's a little pricey, but then for L.A., it's $181 a night. But for L.A.,
Actually,
that's not that bad.
that's not bad anywhere.
I guess if
It
it's
depends.
super
Well, how many
themed.
people does it sleep?
Oh, just a couple. It's like 2 people.
Okay,
It's not very many.
I'm out. Sleep.
Oh, just
Poor
a couple.
Buffy, the Labrador retriever.
Why?
Oh, she flunked out of guide school. Guide dog school. Did I say that right?
Yeah, guide dog school.
Okay, that's easier for you to say. I have to say it slow, and I still mess it up. Guide dog school. So she flunked out of it.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah, I mean, they really tried hard. She's got
She
a
not
beautiful personality. I don't know what it is. Maybe she just wants to be too friendly.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, but she's a good sniffer.
Okay.
Yeah, she can sniff out COVID.
Can she really?
Yeah, so they did a pilot program. They thought, okay, she's not working out here, but she's still a great dog. Let's try this. And so they have 4 dogs in this pilot program.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the first. And she now is at the doctor's office in Sarasota, just up the road from where my daughter Amanda was born at Sarasota Memorial.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd throw that in.
Fun.
But now she sniffs out COVID. So when patients come through the door and they get the check, with the
thermometer,
and all that
yeah.
stuff, and ask you the 10 rounds of questions that you get every time you go to a doctor's office or a hospital, and then this dog comes up and sniffs you, and if you have COVID, it knows.
And then do you get tested to make absolutely sure Buffy knows what she's talking about or sniffing about?
Yeah, I guess. Sure, they test you.
Maybe.
They give you, a Pepsi with an umbrella, sit you off to the side.
It is Florida.
Yeah, why not? But it's pretty cool that they were able to. They found a purpose for Buffy.
Good girl, Buffy.
Didn't work out in one area, but she can sure sniff a COVID.
I rode the bus to school for quite a few years growing up, and they weren't great because they had gum stuck to the bottom of your seats and things like that. Yeah, this is completely different. There is a couple in England that got an American school bus. Now, I don't know how they got their hands on an American school bus, but they thought, like you said, they wanted to do a reno job. So what they did is took this American school bus. The first thing they did was they put in heating. They have a movie room inside this bus.
It sounds like they're turning it into a home.
Yeah, they were trying to. It has a fireplace. How you put a fireplace in a bus? That seems dangerous.
It seems like a tiny little space to live in, but people can make extraordinary things out of small spaces like that.
Even put in a king-size bed. So they spent $100,000 renovating this thing. If you follow them on Instagram, you can see the whole process. So now that they're done, you would think they would just maybe, tool around Europe or whatever. No, they're raffling it off.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be in September where they're auctioning or raffling it off. It's like $28 a ticket or something like that. So, if you want to get in on that kind of thing. But now they're starting on another bus. They're going to reno another bus.
So they turned a school bus into like an RV.
Yeah, but I mean a crazy, luxurious RV. I mean, it has a movie room. How big was this school bus?
Well, it fit at least 25 kids.
No, I think it had to have fit like 125 kids. I mean, a movie room, a king-size bed, a kitchen. I mean, it has all these.
You'd be amazed. We've been looking at RVs like travel trailers.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're amazed on how much stuff that you can get into a little travel trailer.
Well, that's because you have the expandable sides on an RV, but as far as I know...
Not all of them. You can have
Oh.
expandable sides. You
Yeah.
can have some without the expandable sides.
And you still get all the
That's
luxury.
crazy.
I
Oh,
haven't
it's
been in
crazy.
one in a while, but
Oh, wait till you go in.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tiny, but they still make it work. You say movie room, you think it's like you got 10, stadium seating.
Lazy boys.
Yeah,
and,
no, that's probably not the case.
Maybe.
I think it's like you got
Lazy boys.
Yeah.
and-
I was just reading this. That if you do gardening, it's supposed to really help you.
Yeah, it's a sense of accomplishment, especially when you see, the little buds come out of the ground and then you have potatoes or you have flowers or whatever. It's really that sense of accomplishment.
I'm sorry, for a guy like me, it's stressful.
Is it why?
Because I have no green thumb. I kill stuff.
Well,
I water it, and it's like, what are you doing to me, dude?
too much.
And it like shrivels up and go, that's too much water. And then you know what I learned? My wife. So we have the house that we bought a year ago. We inherited 3. What do you call them? Above ground. It's wood. A little box frame, and you have a garden in it.
Okay.
They're called something. I don't know what it's
backyard
called.
gardens. I have no idea.
There you go. Backyard gardens.
I have no idea.
By Liz Riles. So we have 3 of those. I guess they're called garden beds. So we have
Yes.
3. That's what I'm going to call it. If it's not, you
Yeah.
can call me the carpet on it. I don't care. I don't have a green thumb. So we have 3 of those beds.
Yeah.
And so we planted stuff in it. And then I'm thinking, oh, we need to water it. And my wife's like, no, if you water it at night, it could cause mold. And I mean, it's all this stuff I don't know.
Oh, I guess because it's too cool. If you have the sun, then
Yeah.
it helps. Okay.
And I'm thinking, doesn't God know what he's doing when it rains at night?
yeah.
And the grass still grows?
right.
And all this stuff. I mean, I'm not a gardener, so I don't know. Maybe if you pile on extra stuff.
I thought this was supposed to be not stressful because I'm stressing myself out
See,
right
I
now.
told you. It's a very stressful thing. If you
Yeah.
know what you're doing, then it's therapeutic. Go for it. If you're a guy like me, you're like, I just don't want to kill the fruit.
I went to the mailbox the other day and I had an advertisement for a cruise. And I was like, really? I didn't think they were cruising right now. But no, it's in the future because it looks like cruising may come back in July.
I'm pretty sure pretty strong restrictions.
Oh, I would think so. Like most of the passengers have to be vaccinated, like 95%, I believe it is. And then most of the crew as well, or they can't leave the dock.
When you say 95% vaccinated, you mean of the passengers and the crew members, not 95% vaccinated going on board.
No,
the
it's
person.
right,
you can only be
everybody.
100% vaccinated,
Oh,
right?
sure. But of the amount of people, yeah, if there's 1,000 people, then 95% of those people have to be vaccinated. So, yeah. But we're going to be cruising.
For people who like cruising.
I know.
We'll see what happens.
I know. We've been on a couple of cruises as a family, and then just my husband and myself. There's nothing wrong with cruising. It's a nice little getaway for a couple of days.
Done it a couple of times
Yeah.
on a music boat. A bunch of
Oh,
Christian
right,
artists were
yeah.
on it. That was kind of fun when they used to do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But you did it, you've done it, and,
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but it is a nice, more inexpensive way to see some parts of the world.
Inexpensive?
Well, some of them you can get
For like how much? What's inexpensive?
So if you get the right time of year, hurricane season.
Well, then there you go. For like how much? What's inexpensive?
The right time.
This
of
is so
year.
crazy. It's like a movie when you see it. There's some security footage of a railway, where they have commuter trains that come through.
Okay.
And here's a little boy. It looks like I don't know if this is a parent that he's with or a friend that he's with, but there's an oncoming train and he falls down onto the tracks. Then all of a sudden you see out of nowhere this guy running down the middle of the tracks at full sprint while the train is coming. He picks up this 6-year-old boy, jumps out of the way, train goes flying by.
Oh my goodness!
It's
Talk about
crazy
right
to
place,
see.
Right time.
This is a railway worker. And so he saw the whole thing happen. He's like, he didn't care if he was going to
Sure.
get smacked by that train or not. He wanted to get that 6-year-old off of the tracks because he's got his full life ahead of him. So he's full sprint. He could have tripped up and anything, and
I
he
was
could
just
have.
thinking
It's
that.
something else, and he picked up that little boy, and just like the movie, he's just like the train coming. And he's got him right off the track just in the nick of time. It's like his foot moved out of the way, seconds before the train comes by.
Wow.
And this was not a stop for the train, so it wasn't coming to a stop. It was zooming right on by.
Yeah, it wasn't even slowing down.
It
This
is
thing
crazy.
is moving.
So they gave him, this is like, it's in another country. I'm going to guess India because I didn't see where it was from. But I'm going to guess India. That's a big guess. Anyway, they gave him, the railway worker, a reward for it. It was big bucks for where he's from,
Sure.
$660.
Okay.
Didn't keep it.
What do you do with it?
Give it away.
Who do you give it to?
He donated
Charity?
the whole thing, gave it to charity, yeah. There's a special ministry that he just gave it to. It's absolutely amazing. So he just wanted to help out. And that little boy's alive because of this guy.
Because he just, gut instinct, it had to be, just gut instinct, just you're running and saved a life.
Isn't that great?
That's incredible. Wow.
Here's what we're curious about this morning at 800-447-7234. Who has it been a while that you haven't seen in person that you just want to reconnect with in person since things are starting to open up a little bit? You know, we're not completely 100% away from this whole pandemic thing, but at least some people are able to reconnect with someone. Who is it for you at 800-447-7234?
Yeah, and you know, for us, it's that girls' trip that the women from our church would get together once a year and go somewhere, do something, even if it's just a weekend or a couple of days.
How many?
How many people?
Yeah.
One trip we took 11. There were 11 of us that went to New York City. And we stayed 4 or 5 days, and that was so much fun. But it's been, 8 to 11 women, I guess, every year just hanging out.
Well, maybe for you, it could be grandma or grandpa, or maybe a good friend you haven't seen in such a long time that your family is so connected with, an aunt, an uncle. I mean, you name it. Maybe even just a group in town that you guys haven't been able to get together with, and you just meet on Zoom.
Right.
So we'd like to know your story right now at 800-447-7234, and something that's going on our website right now at hisradio.com, which is Reconnection to Remember, because this is going to happen for somebody, and it might happen for you. Reconnection to Remember. Text this word to 800-447-7234.
Reconnection. Reconnection to 800-447-7234. You'll get all the info you need to make it happen. Reconnection.
Who's it been that you haven't been able to connect with in such a long time? Tassie's along with us. What about you, Tassie?
It's been a while since me and him's been able to connect because of the COVID thing. We've had extra family members living in our house due to COVID because we don't have a large family around nearby, so we don't have nobody to help us out with kids, or we're the only ones that help other people out with. So when COVID hit, my sister and my mom and my other sister got COVID, and I wound up taking their kids in. So it's just been a long time since we've had the house to ourselves and been able to connect.
So you and your husband haven't been able to get together in a while, even though you're in the same house.
And that's got to be hard. But you know what? They're doing a really good thing, helping the family around them. But when you can't have that time as a couple to really keep that marriage and that romance and everything going, it's a little difficult.
Sounds like to me, Tassie, you need some time away.
Yeah.
Get you on a big vacation somewhere.
Yeah, even a weekend getaway would just be incredible.
So do this, Tassie. Do this. Go to hisradio.com and sign up for the Reconnection to Remember, because somebody is going to win that opportunity to reconnect somehow, some way.
Yeah, I love hearing these stories. Who do you want to reconnect with? You can text this word, Reconnection, to 800-447-7234. Also, we'd love to hear your story.
800-447-7234. Call, join the conversation. We so want to know. After a long day of travel, you don't want to get to the hotel and then I got to get back out and eat somewhere.
Right. You can call room service with this one. This is Bon Appetit.
Yeah, check out this menu. It's a really cool menu. Here's beef dog Wellington. How do you say it?
Dog beef bourguignon.
Bourguignon,
Yeah.
okay, like this beef brisket and potato and carrots and green beans. There's a mutt roast. There's an Earl Greyhound, which happens to be a blend of lavender and rose petals and lime flower. It looks like quite the mixture. The Tail Wagger Creek is like a beverage that they put like it sounds like a health drink to me because there's ginseng in it, lime flower, black carrot, nettled elderflower or whatever. Yeah, it's all infused together and stuff like that. Some health drink that they have for dogs.
It's all for dogs.
Dogs.
I can't imagine what the cost of this menu would be. If you're ordering beef bourguignon for your dog.
Bourguignon? I thought it was Doggignon.
Well, that's what's on the dog menu. But if you order it, because the humans is beef
for the human
bourguignon.
side. Okay.
Right. That's an expensive meal.
Oh, really? Well, it is at the Hilton, so.
Yeah.
It's not at every Hilton. It's like select hotels somewhere.
Yeah. Have you ever ordered room service at a hotel? Like a
Never.
really nice.
Never.
A couple of friends of mine and I went to a hotel. We were starved. Went to order chips, $14.
Really?
And this has been like 20 years ago.
I walk across the street to the convenience store and get a frozen meal.
Well, this was like downtown, big city. We weren't doing that at midnight. So
well,
we were just like...
then there's that.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
What's up, Carol? Who haven't you seen in a while?
My daughter, I wanted to surprise her on her birthday this year, which was March, and I couldn't because of COVID and the restrictions. You had to quarantine. She lives in New Jersey, so that kind of messed that up.
Sure did, didn't it? Well, tell you what, Carol, here's what you need to do. Go to hisradio.com or text the word reconnection to 800-447-7234, that same number that you called. Maybe this could happen for you with Reconnection to Remember.
Yeah, and it could be any relationship that has kind of been put on pause over the last 13, 14 months, and you need to make that happen. It's a physical need, right? You want to make that relationship reconnection happen. And again, you can go to hisradio.com, the My His Radio app, or text the word reconnection to 800-447-7234.
Seriously, it could happen for you. A reconnection to remember. It's been forever since you've seen them. Reconnection to remember. HisRadio.com. Let's make it happen for you. Pack your bags, get your passport. You're going to Spain.
Yay!
Going to Spain. Spain has opened up. They said we can get tourists back in.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Oh,
Any
good.
restrictions? What do we have to do?
Fully vaccinated.
Okay.
And you're in. That's what they say.
Wow, I'm excited. Like, I've never been to Spain. I've always wanted to go to Spain.
Wear your mask. Wash your hands.
Okay. I'm doing that to go to Walmart. I can do it to go to Spain for sure.
Yeah, right. It was a big game for Walker, high school senior, so it's his last hurrah on the baseball team.
Yeah.
The dude, check this out, he pitched a no-hitter. A no-hitter on his last pitch of the season. Incredible. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. But Walker's story, oh man, it'll touch your heart. He has cancer.
Yeah. He found out in 2018 that he had this rare form of bone cancer, and it seemed to start and really stay in his left leg. As a pitcher, it's very important. You got to have, that push off, that strength in that leg. And so his family really thought he would never pitch again. He had 6 surgeries. He had chemo. He had 24 treatments. He was in the hospital 18 different times.
He has a very weak leg. His left leg is very weak. He can barely play, but they called him up, and he pitched a no-hitter. That's huge for baseball, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Isn't it?
Yes, it's very rare that it happens.
So he did it. He'll never be able to play again. He knows that. He realizes that. He says that out loud, but he's okay with it. And he had this opportunity. It's a dream of a lifetime.
It really is.
How inspiring. His name is Walker.
Yeah. And what's great, I would have loved to have been at that game because they said everybody in the stands rooting him on. And I know as a baseball mom, you're on pins and needles when something that monumental is happening, and especially even more so with Walker. Everybody in the stands were in tears. And of course, when he threw that last strike over home plate, and it happened, they erupted.
Can you imagine just being there witnessing that? Walker, you are inspiring us. And today, my friend, we're praying for you.